Does it show like it's recording on y'all's end?
Yep.
Okay. So thanks to Janelle and Katie for hopping on with us. I wanted to, set up this connection Zoom so that you guys could meet Janelle and Katie, who's on our team, and in Plexus terms is our upline, but is also like their support for all of us. And so I wanted to just have this Zoom so that a lot of you can kind of meet them, even if, you've never met them in person, just to hear their stories and just to get to know them a little bit better. And so I just wanted to go ahead and pass it off to Janelle.
Hey, good evening. I'm so thankful for this chance to connect with you. I do recognize most of you, and it's nice to see you. It's thundering and it's raining here, and we just got home from a soccer and a volleyball game. And so my kids are waiting for the frozen pizzas to come out of the oven, and we probably have hours of homework ahead of us yet tonight. But I am so thankful for Plexus, not just for the way the products have helped me manage a stressful lifestyle, but really it's been a beautiful provision from the Lord. And I'll give you a quick story. My husband and I met while, and we were living in Minneapolis, and I was a foster mom to 2 boys. And he would come over and, can you just see how I'm talking? Yeah. So he would come over and hang out with them and give me a break. She's going for my pink drink because she knows that I won't object while I'm talking. But he used to babysit for them, and eventually God brought me and Jason together, and we got married. My mom and dad adopted Marco and Antonio, and a year after we were married, we started fostering our oldest 4 kids. And we had them for a season, and we began the adoption process, and they were moved to live out of state very abruptly because they found a relative. And so while they were gone, I got pregnant with our first biological child, and then Amos, who just came and gave y'all a funny face. We picked him up from the hospital when he was 8 days old, and I was 5 months pregnant. And then 3 months later, we got the oldest 4 kids back. And so we had 6 kids, and the oldest one was 5. And the oldest 3 of them had quite the background of trauma. And so raising them has been really awesome, but it's definitely been a time for us to exercise our faith. And God's been so faithful. Okay, I'm trying to concentrate, guys. You guys, God has been so faithful to meet all of our needs. And my husband was a pastor for the first, I don't know how long we've been married. I think we've been married 13 years. So for about the first 10, 11 years of our life, he was a pastor. And God made it very clear that it was time for him to resign and take care of our family.
Here's the question. How many years are you last?
Okay, and she's 5, so she's been with us for 5 years. She's our 7th child. And so when we hit that point, I had just joined Plexus a year previously, and I knew I loved the products, and I had been making enough money to pay for our mortgage. But can you guys go eat some pizza now? Go check if it's ready. Okay, go out now. Now that we're being recorded, you can see how well my children obey.
And how awesome we are.
Okay, so let me talk. You guys are awesome, for real.
Yeah.
You're very much distracting me. So I felt very convicted, and my husband and I felt
strongly convicted that the Lord wanted us to work our business as hard as we can in the nooks and the crannies of raising our kids. And our days are very intense, and we homeschooled half of our kids at the We have been homeschooling. Sorry for all the distractions. This is real life, 8 p.m. on a school night. So God was so kind to give me very encouraging friends here on my Plexus team who encouraged me through that time. And it's been exciting to see my team grow. And sometimes we have great growth and sometimes it seems a little slower, but I'm constantly learning new things along with my team. And there's a lot of really great resources in the team pages. But one of the biggest blessings really, truly has been these relationships that I've formed over the years with my team. And I'm just so thankful to meet you all tonight. I think that I really believe that anyone can go far in this business. First, if they believe that they can do it, if they believe that they have the skills and the resources to pursue this. And if you don't feel like you have it right now, then this is a perfect opportunity for personal growth. And there's a lot of great suggestions throughout the team pages, and your sponsor or I would love to connect with you to encourage you in any way that we can. I would, I think one of the things that I've purposed to do, even though when I feel like my days are so full, is to share about Plexus personally with at least one person every day, and always posting consistently in a positive fashion, in an inspirational fashion on Facebook, and just continuing to connect with my team and to build relationships. Was there anything specifically you wanted me to share, Esther? So one more thing. This summer, we moved. I don't really post on Facebook where we live just because I appreciate having some privacy. But we lived in the Madison, Wisconsin area, and we just moved to Green Bay about 8 weeks ago. And so it's been an adjustment, but we're so thankful to be closer to family, and we're so thankful to have most of our kids in a Christian school here, and we're homeschooling one of our sons who has a little bit more severe special needs, but we're just so thankful to the Lord for his way of sustaining us financially with Plexus. So anything else you wanted me to talk about, Esther?
No, that's great. Thank you. I didn't know, I was going to just open it up to other folks if you had questions for Janelle or whatever. One thing that she did mention that that she said was, there are so many resources available to us. And something that I've just kind of been learning over the last year and a half, almost a year and a half, I guess, since becoming an ambassador for Plexus, is just that, this is not something that I intended to do. It's kind of like an accidental business. And everybody can learn the skills. And it's just a matter of whether or not you want to or not. And it is available, and there is so much personal growth that has happened, just even for me personally, and I know for a lot of other team members as well. So, yeah, we continue to grow. I mean, it's like hashtag always learning, right?
Yeah.
So that's something that's an ongoing process for everybody. So anyway, I wanted to also let Katie just share a little bit of her story too. And I will preface to say that she's losing her voice. So it might be a little brief, but we hope that her voice will last.
Can you hear me? Okay. Oh no. Hold on one second. It's really weird. I don't really have any other symptoms other than I don't have a great voice. So first of all, I think you probably all know this, but if you don't, I'm Janelle's little sister, her little sister. My voice cracked right there in case you thought I said older or something. I'm her little sister. Janelle told me about Plexus 3 years ago this month, or probably, it was probably like in July and August. I was pregnant with my fourth, and she told me how much she was reading about how great it was for pregnant and nursing moms. I had always had a hard time with postpartum depression. And so Janelle signed me up and helped me get my products paid for. And she basically said, you cannot quit. She, sometimes she was joking, and then other times she really wasn't. But no, I loved her. And as I was thinking about getting together tonight and connecting with you all, I always want to share with people that even if you don't think that you're the right type of person to succeed in something like this, or find a groove or enjoy this, I just would challenge you that I felt that way. But like Janelle, God has used it to bless me in a lot of different ways. And if I could say two things that are really important, one would be, well, they're kind of like your mindset and your thoughts, and then your actions and what you do. And I find that they affect each other a lot, and that they're kind of a cycle. And so there's times where my head is not in the game, and maybe I'm tired, and I have had a lot of stress in my life ever since I joined Plexus. Well, not because of it before too, but so it's easy to let that overwhelm. So the drive and the high, the inspiration isn't always there, but I found that as I take the small steps, like Janelle said, one reach out a day, one post a day, as I take action consistently, it bears fruit, which is very encouraging and motivating, and it kind of can become a really great snowball. And so we kind of have to, we don't always experience those at the same time, but if it is a discipline for sure. And so along with that, you got to find a person to be your buddy and your partner, and someone who you can do this with and share highs and lows, and someone that, and I that's what we want to create in our chats. The person is always much more important than the business, and sometimes there are other things going on that are hard, and we like to help each other and encourage each other, Plexus or no Plexus. It's kind of everything affects each other. So I hope that makes sense. And I hope you could hear me. I'm sorry.
No, I appreciate that, Katie. Yeah, I'm the same way as far as, looking at it as like something that you just build consistently, even when you might not feel like, sharing or whatever, but just doing it and consistently doing that as like a daily practice. It is like kind of a discipline, and like I said, it just kind of happens to be like a very big time for personal growth, just even on our teams, I think. I want to just share just a little bit about my journey too, because when I first started taking Plexus, it was as a customer. I mean, I was Katie's customer for about 6 months before I actually joined. And, you know, it was like an aha moment when I joined, because for 6 months I had kind of been taking the products consistently and everything. And the biggest thing that I noticed initially was that my inflammation in my arm, you know, went down quite a bit. And that was like huge for me, because it was bothering me from a prior injury for, I don't know, like a few years already. And because of that, like reduction in inflammation and everything, I knew that it was the Plexus that was working for me, because I mean, I wasn't really doing anything different diet wise, exercise or anything. And really that was the only variable that made a difference. And so since then, like joining, and then, you know, like I said, this was kind of like an accidental business for me. I mean, I intentionally like did not join to have a business, but you know, I got really passionate about seeing other people's lives changing, their health changing, and just wanted to keep sharing. And so, you know, my why for doing Plexus is really kind of more out of service, like just wanting to help others get better and have the, you know, at least try the products to see if it'll work for them. And really, I mean, it's kind of, the business kind of bore out of just sharing. I mean, it's, you know, a lot of people say, oh, you know, I don't want to sell stuff. And I understand that perspective, because you are selling something, but it's more like wanting to change that perspective of wanting to share with others. Like, how can others benefit from the products and, you know, possibly the biz. So she's saying good night to me. But anyway, the other thing that I did want to share, just to encourage y'all, that, you know, just hearing like Janelle's story and Katie's story and a little bit of my story. I mean, all of us come to Plexus differently. And yes, most of us probably came for the products, like just to see how it would help benefit us health-wise. But what I do want to just, you know, share with y'all, that it's so much more than just the supplements. It's so much more than just the products. Like, we have an awesome community of and support with not only Janelle and Katie, but like the greater team. I mean, you know, this is just primarily like within our group, I guess, that we're familiar with our uplines. But I just want to say that I've been blessed so much, not only by the products, but the connections I've made. I've made a lot of friends that I never would have met had it not been for Plexus. And I mean, we pray for one another, we encourage one another, and we're all on this journey together. And I feel like the Lord has really put our teams together the way He has, because like, we're just, you know, wanting to grow together and being like-minded with one another. And yeah, I mean, I don't know if there's any other questions or anything like you have of any of us. If you want to learn more or whatever, I mean, we're here for you. And yeah. So anyway, just to conclude, you know, the meeting, I don't know if anybody else has ever said, oh, I see Katie. Oh, she said how she's benefit from Plexus, except for this voice thing today. Just for today.
I had a question, Esther. I don't know if we have enough time to go into it with the time that's left, but I'm curious about how people decide what products they're going to promote from day to day. I I don't know. I feel like I need to have some kind of system where when I haven't been doing IPA now for a couple weeks with other things going on, but how do you decide which products to promote on different days?
For me personally, I am like the least organized person, so I probably should not be answering this question. But I do kind of keep a running saved list of posts I see. Like it'll go for several days, and I try not to post the same post on the same day as when I see it. But sometimes like my mind is like I can't really think of something creative at this point. And so borrowing it is, I think, a thing that most people are pretty comfortable with. I always just say be courteous and at least comment on those posts that you are borrowing and change it up a bit, edit it a little bit to personalize it. And yeah, that is something like, it doesn't have to necessarily, like I have thought through some weeks where I have thought about a certain like product that I want to showcase and or kind of like maybe talk about the triplex, for instance, like over the course of the week or something. That'll happen. But like last week I got some posts on like I got some comments, like a lot of activity on ease, and I didn't expect that, actually, like just random people. But I had posted it as a public post because I do try to do my personal posts as friend posts and my Plexus posts as public, just because like I kind of want to differentiate a little bit and not have the whole world watching my family. So but as far as like that ease post, so like just working with those folks, like you just never know, like sometimes. But I think the main thing is that you're posting consistently. So try to post something at least every day. I mean, that's kind of what I try to encourage people to do, even if it's not necessarily like like an organized laid out posts during the week or something like that, because I think people just want to see that there are like a variety of products and the products help different things in our health, so but obviously like the triplex is the core foundation. So I tell people always, like I usually try to direct them. I may have a post about slim, but really, and this is something about listening to what your potentials or people who are interested in Plexus, are coming to you for, like just hearing what would most suit and benefit them. So I don't know if there's anything else, Katie or Janelle, you want to add.
Well, I just wrote in the chat, but definitely products that personal testimonies are really good. And then other testimonies that you see, like I remember I posted a Lyme's story about Lyme's disease, and that got a lot of comments. But it would be good to kind of keep track about what you post, because you might not realize you haven't posted about certain products. But you can be systematic. That would be good, but you don't have to be. Janelle, did you have something to say?
Be posting and I don't know if one of you mentioned this because we have a lot of distractions over here, but be posting things that might cause a lot of interaction. So like ask questions. People love to give advice. People love DIY projects because everybody can relate. They're dirty. Everybody can relate and want to do that themselves. So being relatable and bringing people into your life, make them somehow interested in seeing what's going on with you.
Kind and joyful with mushroom.
I honestly can't think straight right now.
I think that what you're going for is like your other posts can affect how your Plexus posts are viewed and how people interact with them. So when you have a post that you ask like a question, people love comment. They do love telling you their opinion, but especially about house things like, you know, what color tile or paint. And the more interaction you have on that post, Facebook and their magic will like make your Plexus post more visible. Does anybody else want to have any thoughts about posting?
And on our Live Radically page, and also Team Wellness has done this too. There are some, like Casey Bogle just did a thing last week, I think, on Back to Basics. So if you search like hashtag Back to Basics on Team Wellness, you'll find a bunch of good, just kind of like thinking through, starting from the beginning, about posting, about just different things that you could really be trained on, even through the virtual office. But there are things like that that can help you. So, yeah, that's fine. And so, lots of distractions here too, Janelle. So anyway, but yeah, like Team Wellness, Live Radically. Live Radically has like Tuesday tips and IPA that you can, IPA 101, I think was the hashtag that we used for that. But just things like that can all help you if you need to kind of just get a refresher or some ideas on how to start posting. Oh, and a welcome post that's on Team Wellness as well. She has like several different, and I think I've tagged some of y'all on it, but just you know, like there's videos and stuff that you can watch that kind of helps you get started sharing. So is there anything else? That's a good question, Johanna.
I like Erin's point there. If you guys want to read it, I was follow people and share their, not share, but use their posts after you support it with your comments. Especially people who don't have a lot of mutual friends with you. So like a sideline maybe outside of your network, because then they're not seeing the same posts. Like I don't like to use Janelle's posts because we have like 600 mutual friends. So.
Okay, well, I guess we can kind of close up the this Zoom meeting. I'm glad that y'all were able to come and you know, at least hear from Janelle and Katie most of all, and really do want to encourage you that if you even have like a little inkling, like this is something I really want to pursue, that, you know, you talk to me or Janelle, because it's something that we want to encourage you in and support you in, and really kind of look beyond just that this is products just to help myself, but really, you know, how can it benefit others is kind of where, you know, I really want to encourage like everybody on my team to do, because it's really just so much bigger than us. Like Plexus is just so much bigger. And, you know, like I said, like I shared earlier, the friendships that I've made, the community here, the encouragement that I find here is just huge for me. And especially because, you know, none of us are experts and we're all learning and helping each other along the way. So anyway, thank you so much. Thanks, Janelle, and all your, through all your, you know, busy times to share with us, and Katie too. I hope you feel better.
Thanks.
All right. Have a good night, y'all.
Night.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.